The 12 weeks, we determine whether or not they are job ready. If they aren't, they continue to work in one of our businesses. We develop an area and action plan, so that an area of development and an action plan, so they can continue working on those skills. So once the person is job ready, they go into job development. We only look for paid employment, entry-level positions. So we would sit down with the person, we would ask what kind of job are they looking for, so ideally something that they enjoy doing, so there'd be more success at the job, but also something like as simple as, are they a morning person, are they an afternoon person, are they an evening person, do they want to work night shift, and how many hours do they feel they're capable of working. So once we determine that, then we sit down and we just start applying for jobs. So they in turn have to look as well. So as a job developer, I would look at the job bank, look at actual job postings, but I also look at things like even going on site. Perhaps a person is interested in crafts. So I might go to a craft store and see if they're hiring. And I have had some success in cold calling. Once the person gets the interview, then I go along with them first I do interview training, which is very necessary. So in my previous job, I did, it was a 3-interview process, and I did all the introduction interviews. So I said to Lori, I see a lot of people doing things and wearing things that are not suitable for interviews, and I'd really like to do an interview training workshop. One of my favorite workshops, because it's all role played, I don't have to use any laptop or projector, so that's always nice. I do it just simply by leading by example and showing people even things like how to make eye contact in an interview, how to shake hands, and I mean a firm handshake, not one of those flimsy handshakes either. And I'm a big stickler on what people wear. I don't know about you, but I've seen many horrible interview outfits. So we did have someone who went on an interview and came back and said to me, "Oh, Denise, you would not have been very happy there. There were girls with ripped jeans." And I'm like, not suitable for interviews. So we go through what to wear. We did have this one guy tell this story all the time. He had an interview at NSCC, and when I went to go meet him, this is how I greeted him. "Please tell me that's not what you're wearing to the interview." And he says, "What? What's wrong with my shirt?" Had a big cat on it, was kind of ripped and wrinkly. So I said, off to Salvation Army we go. No, we went to Value Village, and we bought him a nice shirt. He looked fabulous, and he actually got the job. So dress makes a big, big difference. Also talking about simple things, I do tell people I can't say 100% what the questions are going to be, but here are some common questions. But once you know your strengths, because we focus on what the ability is, we focus on what is the person capable of doing, and that's what we focus on. So we ask questions like, what are your strengths? Provide some situational. We noticed there's a big shift now with interview training. Describe to me a time where you had to work with coworkers. So once the interview training and I talk a lot about dress. So there's really very simple things that you can do, researching the company before you go to the interview that will increase your chances of being offered the job. Also gives the opportunity for the person to determine whether or not the job is good for them as well. So once they have the interview training they need, once they secure an interview, I'll go along and do the interview with them or accompany them with the interview. That's if needed. Some do go on the interview their own, and then some I accompany them as well. So what I do and what my role would be is to simply support them, but also sometimes to kind of prompt them. Hey, remember a time when we did this? Because I also work with the person at Pet Stuff or at Mort's Convenience, so I'm well aware of some situations that they could use it as example. For example, if they're asked about teamwork, working with coworkers, I'll often say, hey, remember the time where you did deliveries, where that's a group effort. And also receiving an order. One person receives the order, their coworker perhaps checks it off on the list, and another person prices the product, and another coworker would put the product out. So sometimes I'll give those kind of prompts to help the person come up with an idea but a situation where they could explain it in the interview. So once the person gets the job,